There is a secret ring in Act 3 that almost every player misses. Even I didn't know this ring existed in the game until I found it during my last playthrough. It is called the seemingly Gleaming Ring and it gives +1 to charisma saving throws, but you'll receive a penalty to wisdom saving throws in return. You'll find an NPC called Neighbor at Karmskarms in Act 3. If you interact with him, you'll see he's a very talkative guy who is trying to choose the perfect class for himself. You'll have to sit through all his dialogues until he finally makes a decision about his goal. Once he does, he will give you an amulet as a reward, which grants +1 to performance. However, if you steal the amulet before he gives it to you, then after finishing all his dialogues, he will reward you with the ring instead. This way you can get both the ring and the amulet without any consequences. Just make sure you do not get caught while stealing. In the graveyard in Act 3, you'll find the grave of SHADOWHEART's trainer, Alistair Manley. If SHADOWHEART interacts with the tombstone and then if you talk to her, you'll hear some dialogue from her about her master. However, if you have a night orchid in your inventory, you'll unlock additional dialogues. She will make a joke, but eventually thank you if you give her the flower.
Rings a bell? Why? Oh, hells. You didn't pick that by hand, did you? They're deadly poisonous. Joking. They're safe. And beautiful. Thank you.
After that, if SHADOWHEART places the flower near the grave, she'll give her final farewell to her master.
Just a small remembrance.
Blessings upon you.
From one who can scarcely remember. Rest well.
While digging the dark mound near the stairs in the graveyard, a kobold will appear. She will tell you to leave the loot there as she found it first. However, if you win the intimidation check and tell her the crate belongs to the 9 fingers, she will agree to leave the place empty-handed. In this specific case, if you win another intimidation check, you will be able to charge her to get additional loot. She will then throw her weapon at you, which you can keep. It deals an additional 1 to 4 fire damage per hit. I always prefer to get the weapon this way without killing the kobold. Also, any party members with a charlatan background will receive a skill point for loading the crate here. You'll find a girl named Nina in the graveyard standing beside her brother's grave trying to resurrect him. Her big brother was actually killed by Baldur. Nina attempts to bring him back, but she won't be able to succeed unless you help her. If you do, some undead enemies will spawn and trigger a fight. However, you can also stop her by telling her to let her brother rest in peace. This way you can avoid the inevitable battle. But wait, that's not the end. After stopping Nina, you can report her act of necromancy to the graveyard's caretaker. Then a cutscene will trigger where the caretaker confronts Nina and convinces her not to attempt necromancy again.
Time for truce.
I was gonna raise my big brother from the dead.
Why?
Oh, because I miss him.
What do you miss about him?
I miss his laugh. How he made everything less scary.
Do you feel that warmth in your heart at his memory? Death does not mean you're apart. He is here every time you speak of him. But necromancy does not give life. It twists death. Whatever abomination you summon will not be your brother. I swear it.
Before moving any further, I have a request. Please hit the subscribe button to get more contents like this. It costs you only a few seconds but fills my heart with joy and all my hard works get paid off. So please do this. In one of my previous videos, I showed how to kill withers in Act 3. Many of you commented on the video asking what happens to the ending if you do so. I tried to find the answer, but before getting to that, let me quickly explain the procedure to kill withers. For this, you need to use the atrophied method. If any ability of a specific individual drops to 0, they gain the atrophied condition and die instantly. To reduce abilities like this, I used 2 illithid powers, Absorb Intellect and Ability Drain. However, progressing to the ending camp party after killing withers made me curious about what would happen next. Actually, I couldn't find withers in his chamber no matter what I did. The game seemed stuck at that point. I talked to everyone in the party and tried every possible thing, but withers never appeared, like he was truly dead. Everything remained fine until I heard someone in the camp. If you do that, withers suddenly spawns out of nowhere and a cutscene begins. It was the first time I saw him since I had killed him. Withers punished me for ruining his party and threw me into a portal.
Suddenly, I am most tired. Good day.
Thus he banished me and ended the game. When you go to the House of the Healing, you will find an undead nurse at the reception. If you talk to her, she will think you are there to see the doctor. She will tell you to join the line and wait. There, you will get a performance check option to pretend to be an ill patient. But the interesting thing is, if you fail the performance check, the characters will act in a hilarious way. I reloaded the game for all the companions and it was great entertainment to watch. Let me show you their acting skills.
You endanger the sick. 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 You endanger the sick.
Speak with Dead is one of the greatest features of Baldurs Gate 3. It allows you to talk to specific dead NPCs in the game and ask them up to 5 questions. However, the case of Naber is an exception. He is so talkative that 5 questions aren't enough for him. After you have asked all the 5 questions, the narrator says the spirit refuses to be silent instead of saying you can ask no more questions.
The spell's power wanes, but the spirit refuses to be silent.
You even get the option to ask the dead if he knows the way to end the conversation. If you want to enter Worm's Crossing via the first checkpoint, you'll have to pass some dialogue checks. You'll also need to give 200 golds to the guards. But fortunately, you can bypass the checkpoint easily without any dialogue checks or gold. It is quite easy. Just follow the path on the right and keep going until you reach your destination. If you talk to the guards afterward, you can confirm that there will be no further hostility for bypassing it like that.
Access confirmed. Proceed at will.
Boss battles are extremely fun and entertaining in Baldur's Gate 3, but sometimes they can be quite lengthy. Actually, this game is a game of hundreds of possibilities. If you want, you can win most of the major battles without even doing anything. Yes, you had it right. For example, you can kill KLERIC and even Merkel without a fight. You can one-shot all the 3 goblin leaders without lifting a finger. These methods are especially great for speedrunners. I have shown how to win 6 major battles without doing anything in this video. You can watch it by clicking here. Visit my channel to get more Baldur's Gate 3 videos like this. Subscribe if you like. Till then, have a nice day. Goodbye.